Ayala, we have new details in the case of missing little girl Harmony Montgomery. Now, she's been missing since 2019, but investigators didn't know about her disappearance for close to 2 years. Now, attorneys for Adam Montgomery, Harmony's dad, are pushing to get prosecutors to turn over body camera evidence. Montgomery's attorneys want the state to provide the body camera video from an interview that a Manchester, New Hampshire police detective did with Montgomery, who was found sleeping in his car last New Year's Eve. Now, that interview ended with Montgomery's arrest on child endangerment, assault, and custody interference charges. He remains in jail as investigators continue to search for little Harmony. GoTV anchor Vinny Politan takes a look back at this disturbing case.
This is little 5-year-old Harmony Montgomery clutching her doll and smiling for the camera. When you look at this picture, everything seems very normal. Harmony seems happy and cared for. But sometimes pictures can be very deceiving because Harmony's world is anything but normal and happy. Her father has been arrested and charged with second-degree assault. The victim, his 5-year-old daughter, little Harmony. But that's not the most troubling part of Harmony's world. This picture is from 2019, and there are not any newer pictures of Harmony. The photographs of this little angel are all over 2 years old. That's because she's been missing since October or November of 2019.
Help us find this little girl. Someone knows something, do what is right, and call in. I cannot emphasize that enough. Somebody out there knows something. It's time for people to do the right thing.
According to a police affidavit, Harmony's mother, Crystal Sori, says she lost custody to Harmony's father, Adam, because she was dealing with a substance abuse problem. She says the last time she saw Harmony was a FaceTime call on Easter of 2019. Meanwhile, Harmony's father, Adam, says Crystal picked up Harmony for Thanksgiving in 2019, but Adam's girlfriend at the time says Adam told her he dropped Harmony off at Crystal's. Now, back to the assault charges. Adam's uncle claims that Adam admitted to bashing Harmony around the house and witnessing Harmony being spanked very hard, forced to stand in the corner for hours, and scrubbing the toilet with her toothbrush. So while the court system is dealing with the charges against Adam Montgomery, the chief is still looking for this beautiful little girl in the photo.
Quite frankly, enough is enough. This is a 7-year-old girl. Let's find her, all right? Let's come together as a community and do the right thing. That's all I'm asking, and I don't think I'm asking a lot. If people think that I am, then I'll leave it at that.
Enough is right. Still with me, criminal defense attorney and registered nurse, Marie Peretta. All right, now, Marie, as the guy said, enough is enough. This guy was arrested back in January of 2022, so that's, you know what, 5-6 months ago. He's not saying anything about this girl. All he says is what you heard there, the story. He handed it over to the mom. Perhaps the police are barking up the wrong tree. You think a lowlife like this, eventually he'd talk. They got to all these other charges against him. You figured he'd say something to help himself at least, but nothing from him. What are your thoughts on this case?
If he doesn't have any proof that he dropped the little girl off to the mother, then I don't understand why they just don't try to get an indictment against him and move forward from there. Because you can try a murder case without a body. And I think if he's the last person that had legal custody of this little girl, and then she's only 7, so she's not getting on a plane or running away by herself, then what happened to her? I think there should be enough here for the police and the district attorney to do what they can to present this case to a grand jury and move forward from there.
Yeah, now they searched the home where they used to live, and they went in the house where they took something out in the refrigerator. So we haven't heard anything about that, so we don't know what that's about. So something could come of that. We don't know. We're still waiting to find out there. That's from a few days ago when they went into that house. Now, the defense now, they're going after this body camera video from when he was arrested. The big issue there, the big headline for that is, what they're claiming is that based on discovery. Now, discovery, folks, means basically when you're going to go to trial on something, both sides have an obligation under the law to turn over information to each other, including information that might be inculpatory or might be, you know, something that might get someone off. And they're claiming they never received this body camera video. So the defense is saying, hey, maybe there's something on this tape they don't want us to see. Your thoughts on that? Because if that's in fact true, that the prosecution has not met the deadlines, that could be problematic for them.
At the end of the day, the prosecution's job is to find the person responsible for the disappearance of this little girl. It's not to pin it on the father when he didn't do it. So I'm quite sure if the prosecution has exculpatory evidence, they know that they are obligated to turn it over. So I would imagine that in a case like this, they wouldn't do anything to jeopardize the integrity of their case by keeping vital information, which could be exculpatory. Because at the end of the day, we're looking for justice for this little girl, not to frame her father if he didn't do it. But it doesn't seem to me as if he's uninvolved, because he is the one that had custody of this little girl. What happened to her?
Yeah, you know, you talk about the perfect world, prosecutors, that would be the case, but oftentimes things don't work that way. What are some reasons you might know of? I can think of a few, because I've been in that situation, where prosecutors, why aren't they turning it over? If there was, in fact, a February deadline to turn this information over, why hasn't it been turned over to the defense?
As a former prosecutor, that type of activity and behavior is unethical, it's just unexcusable. So I can't imagine, even if it would ruin their entire investigation, and if they've been barking up the wrong tree, and it would be embarrassing for them that 2 years or 3 years have passed since she's been missing, and they find information that completely really makes it apparent that the father had nothing to do with it, then they should just own up to it and just continue the investigation from a fresh set of eyes. The only reason that I could think is embarrassment, that maybe they're completely wrong.
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting because if in fact it is true that they have not met the deadline and they do in fact have it in their possession, they could be excluded from using it at trial, which, as you said, would be the worst thing to happen based on, you know, what they say they want to accomplish in this case.